From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Rifts with your host, Keith Reza.
Is this Keith?
Yeah, hey Matt.
Dude, you got the memo to wear the gray t-shirt.
Oh yeah. I always wear gray. But how are you doing today? This fine Monday.
I'm good. Getting a little bit of work done, but not too crazy. How about you?
Oh, doing good. I'm just about to interview the great Matt Doherty right now. It's gonna
Oh,
be
that
awesome.
guy.
Yeah,
That
I'm excited. I wanted to start whenever you're ready.
Sure. Let me just wipe my glasses off so I can see you a little better.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and you're a comedian, yeah?
Yeah, I do stand up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, sure.
are those the blue screen glasses for the blue screen? Because that's what I'm wearing.
Oh, it helps. It definitely helps with the computer for sure.
Yeah. So,
All right,
but
here we go.
I want to start with your music because I checked out. We'll get into the acting stuff, but I wanted to start with the music too because I this is something I just found out about you. A week ago when when I wrote you and stuff. And I listened to it and I think it's very good. And I wanted to ask, like, what got you into the going to the music route? Like, what was that?
Oh, oh wow. Actually, I think that's a great question. There's a long tradition of actors wanting to be musicians, musicians wanting to be actors, etc.
Right.
Uh, and like, I mean, like for many years, right? So I'm not a unique snowflake. I think why but there's a long tradition of like finger style folky guys who made their living as character actors in Hollywood, like some of the like Merle Travis, who wrote some great songs and is known as one of the best fingerstyle pickers. He got good because he had all these hours on set to practice, and that's like, so I guess that's the tradition. But I think I learned on set for the first time, because
Really?
somebody taught me. My brother Dan plays guitar, so I learned, I'm the youngest, so you do whatever your siblings do. And then I was like, oh, they're playing instruments. I'll play instruments. And then Scott White, the great Scott White, who played both in Ducks 2 and 3 as the villain. They just dyed his hair, which I think to this day is one of the funniest things ever.
Right.
Plays two different characters. And but he taught me how to play the blues. I'll never forget. I was like 16, and then I just kept playing after that.
Oh my.
And
Well, so like what I like about your music is because like I have Asperger's, so I'm very sensitive to loud noises and stuff. But your music is very calm and smoothing. It's very folky, and
oh,
that's what I kind of like about it. So
dude, I'm now that's a high compliment that I'm like I got silky smooth for the
yeah.
for those with Asperger's. That's a niche, man.
It's like Violent Femmes in a way, like very easy to listen to and very catchy. So I wanted to ask, like, how long does it take you to write a song? Because I know, that's kind of like a difficult journey, if you're in that.
They're weird, man. Some songs, well, you do creative stuff, you understand. Like some jokes or whatever, they're written like that. Other things you struggle with for a long time. Uh, I like I got lucky. I think it's just like I was able to like, oh, that sounds good. And then I get an idea or an image, and then it's usually written pretty quick.
Really?
And then and like I don't really wrestle with it. If I wrestle with it, then maybe it's not supposed to be a song. Maybe
Right.
it's another idea, maybe it's something else. And then, when you do a record or whatever, those are just the 10, 12 songs that that's not to mention the 50 or 60 that
That got
you
cut. Yeah.
yeah, that were kind of cool, maybe, oh, that one sounds like this one. And so like I always think, but I think what Bob Dylan said was right. If it's too much like I got squeeze in, maybe it wasn't its time, it wasn't its thing, and it's just, let it go.
Yeah.
Right. So not to be all zen, but that's kind of the way I feel about songwriting. Yeah.
Now, have you like ever gone on a tour while you like,
Oh, many, many. I
oh,
mean, like, I think I made a choice like like I started doing this way young, and then and then in my like late 20s into my mid 30s, I took it really seriously. I've done records overseas. I lived in Sweden for a little while, and I made a record there with some Swedish players, which were amazing. But I guess like I never really had aspirations to like make a living at it. Like I was
Yeah,
kind of pure. I was like I didn't like I was like I saw the future. I was like, man, I don't want to live in a bus. If it happens, it happens. I just like writing songs and giving them to people.
yeah,
I think that like in a weird way, I mean, I did some gigs on the road, but like I was like I love to travel. I love the Southwest. I know many roads in America, but the idea of like it was the same thing with comedy. Like at a young age, I was like, I don't know if I want this to be my life.
right,
To kind of be forced to be on the road. So I was like, I'm gonna keep it amateur for the love of it, right? French amateur.
right.
So I was like, I don't know, call me weird. I was like, some of my favorite songwriters, they wrote things and other people made them famous. But
Uh,
no one
oh
no
yeah,
one made
that's true.
money.
Yeah, like
Like the whole
Stacy Jones and stuff.
yeah, but that's a
Yeah,
whole racket. I was like, man, I'm already a writer and an actor and there's always like that's all speculative and everything is like, well, did you read my email and this? Oh, hey, get back to me. Did you read my thing? Hey, look at my headshot. And I was like, I didn't want that to be in music, man. I just wanted to play in a coffee shop and
right.
and maybe they'll listen to me. And that's it.
Well, I mean, seriously, Matt, congratulations because you say yourself, actors, they do want to turn into musicians, and sometimes musicians want to turn into actors. And I think that the fact that you did it and you have a very good album, like I'm very proud. Like that's
Oh,
awesome, man. So thank you. And I
thank
was
you.
gonna say you could go on the road and open for me with the music. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Like,
mean, I'm saying I will do it. I will absolutely do it. I will go on a one-off. I'll do a couple of gigs. But like I'm not under any illusions that like I have to, it has to be big. Like I played in a bluegrass band for a while, and then one of the guys he was like, "Oh, we're gonna make this bluegrass band. We're gonna be big." And I'm like, "No, we're not." I'm like, "Can we just have some fun?"
right.
Yeah.
Now, do you think like that because just by from being a child actor too? Because like the word big can mean so many to so many people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for example, I think you're big just by being yourself.
Well, I'm
But
5'6", so I don't know how
no.
big that is, but yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? Like I grew up watching you. I think you're a star, you know what I mean? But like, people also think Buddy Holly wasn't a star. You know what I mean? Like it really
Right.
kind of depends on their views.
And like, why are you doing it? Why,
Exactly.
like, why do you do comedy? Why do you do podcasts? Why do we get on stage, perform? Why do I sit with my friends and do a comedy improv radio program? Why do we do any of these things? Because we love to do it. And if you don't love to do it, then find something else to do with your life.
Yeah. Like
And
be a
that's
stripper or something.
Yeah, go be a stripper. I'm a very niche stripper, but I'm sure there's a living out there for me somewhere.
Right.
But like, kind of like,
Magic Matt.
yeah, Magic Matt. Oh man, I got the funk, bro. I got the moves. I could probably hang in a very particular club.
Yeah.
No,
But
but that's the deal, man. You gotta love to do it. And I,
oh, for
I think
sure.
people who are supposedly, I don't know what success means. I mean, success is external and it's defined by so many things out of our control. But what I've gathered from like listening to people who've talked about that stuff on things like you do on podcasts or whatever, written interviews, like if you really listen, a lot of the people that I respect, and I'm sure maybe you do too, that like they all kind of say the same thing. If you do something creatively, whatever it is, and you're not happy doing it in a church basement or you know, on a Wednesday night at 10 p.m., then for no money,
Right.
then don't waste your time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's the same with stand up because like everyone like my parents give you a great example. I've been doing stand up for 22 plus years, and they're like, "Hey, how come you're not more famous?" And then, I still live at home, not to brag or whatever, but then I say, "Listen, if you Google me, it says I've made it, and if you Google you, mom and dad, it says you're still Jill or Guy." You know what I mean? Like it,
That's you can't argue the relativity of that, man. So
yeah,
when in doubt, shame your parents. That's it. That's the rule.
yeah, just like the internet is so full, the
Of whatever
internet,
you want it to be.
yeah, it says that I'm successful, and that's true because I feel I am by certain stuff I do. But then it's not true because it says I'm worth $1 million, which is complete bullshit. You know what I mean?
That's that whole monetize. Something has to be monetized in order for it to have value. And
Yeah,
I'm, wait a second, if that's what we're living by, yet we live in a time where artists, there's no revenue streams to monetize on anything. I don't care if you're paid.
exactly.
Wait a second. That doesn't add up, man.
I feel like we're giving away the secrets here, Matt, but it's all an internet full of information that's based on semi-truth, but it's covered with lies. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And
So,
like, can you just, what's the, again, quote Bob Dylan, if you get up in the morning and you put your boots on and you do what you love, you're a success, right? So
exactly.
I love that quote from him. And like, um, you know, fuck, I mean, isn't that the whole point?
Yeah. And then another interesting thing I found out about you because I checked out your website, and this is something that like I actually think is really cool of you, is you write and you do writing groups and stuff. And
I
I
teach.
feel yeah, I feel that's very important for like because I teach screenwriting and I feel like that's a tool that is very needed.
Oh, I agree, man. Well, screenwriting is, yeah, that's the goods. That's what I spend most of my time doing. Yeah, I fell into it because maybe my mom was a teacher. So it's probably like, I mean, there are people who can teach and there are people who can't, and I think why I know how to teach writing to adults especially is because I for a long time tried to like not know the rules. So I
Right.
think I'm really good at writers who struggle with certain things because I struggle with the same stuff. So
Yeah.
like the way I'm able to go like there's nothing you can tell me that like I didn't literally try to find a shortcut around. So and I know how hard it is to do creative stuff and I also know like listen, there's a lot smarter people than me who work in like what I like to call the creative recovery land, like Steve Pressfield, Julia Cameron, all these people who are really good with helping people discover as adults that maybe they've always wanted to paint, maybe they've always wanted to write, maybe they've always wanted to make a movie, play the harp, but they've somehow told themselves they couldn't.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm really good at helping people like that.
Yeah, and I think that like I said before, I think that that's very important because I
Oh
think
God, yeah, I live
there's
for it.
yeah, there's writers out there where like just because I teach screenplay, like I could write a movie, but I don't know how to pitch a movie or get it into the hands of anyone. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's where, that's just one element a lot of writers are lost about because they could
Oh,
write something
sure, man.
genius, but they
But
don't know what to
they
do.
can't share it in 10 minutes. And that's a whole other set of skills, which isn't kind of fair, like it's hard enough, you're a screenwriter. It's hard enough to pull that off. And then to be able to then pull this other thing off, like it's and I think there's this myth, and you're a writer, you get it, Keith, and since you teach, you understand that like there's this myth, how far down the rabbit hole do we want to be? But that we're all like writing is a solo endeavor,
Right.
and it's not. I mean, yeah, I have to sit and work on a notepad or a keys or stare at the wall, right? I got to do the work. But I think there's this myth that like this myth of individualism and like no, man, we need it. We need a community. You need other people to encourage you.
For sure.
Um, and I think it's like that with like all the arts. It's hard enough out there right now, you know?
Do you believe in writer's block, or do you think that that's just
No.
yeah, neither do I.
I think it's. it's a symptom of something else.
Right.
Usually
But
perfectionism, fear. Yeah.
yeah. I
What do you
believe I believe there is no writer's block, but I do use the term writer's block a lot, but I think that that's just me hiding my laziness.
Well, I agree. I think laziness, which is also perfection too, like they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, but you can yeah, writer's block. I don't really believe in it, but it's a good term for it because,
Yeah. It makes it sound a lot better than you're lazy.
and uh yeah, like oh yeah, I one of my students did this thing here. I actually really love this thing. Put all these muses together. Let the muse know you're listening and can be trusted. And I love that's kind of my belief
Oh
that
my
like
God.
all you got to do, what would the muses give you inspiration or whatever the hell you're doing, but you got to be sitting there, right? You got
Yeah.
to show up and do your podcast. You got to show up and write jokes, even if they're not good. Like I
Oh.
don't know. I feel like all I can control, and this is that I gotta let the inspiration know that like, hey, I can be trusted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work. I'm here. I'm working.
I'm
I'm thinking.
I'm definitely going to take your class like after because I'm trying to get all
Yeah,
my
yeah.
I'm trying to get all my episodes recorded now so I could in the summer I could focus on my
Come on a
new
Sunday sometime. You can come. Yeah.
yeah, but no, I want to pay and support because I want to do that, you know what I mean? But I feel like that will also help me
Oh man,
get,
it's great.
you know what I mean?
It's just something about people coming together, and I don't know, it's just special, man. I've been doing it for years, and I love doing it.
Yeah, I think that's so awesome that you do that because like I said, I teach at a community college where there's only like 8 or 9 students. And when you're teaching 8 or 9 students, they're kind of like, I don't mean to throw anyone under the bus, but they're kind of bad because they're just taking it to get the credits. You know what I mean? Like it's not something they want to do for a living, you know?
Uh, well,
So
you never know. There might
yeah,
be.
there might be one. Yeah, but you could kind of tell when they're like, redoing the whole Star Wars thing. You know what I mean? So but let's jump into Hollywood for a second because I wanted to ask you, we know you're known for the Mighty Ducks, but your very first thing that, to my knowledge, was Home Alone, and
Right.
I wanted to know like what was that like audition like, and how was that process like? Because that movie had so many kids in it, and I wanted to ask like how was that? Like, did that get in your head like, holy Lord, I'm in this movie, and did you know it was going to be so huge?
Did I know it was going to be so huge? All the kids. No, no one does. Like even going to Mighty Ducks, like we didn't know we were making Mighty Ducks.
Right.
I think we knew we were making something special.
Yeah.
But like and the same thing, like I when during Home Alone, I was not even I was barely 10 years old. I was like
Really? Oh,
first thing I ever did in my life. Um, or was the Long John Silver's commercial first? So they were like, one was right before the other. And so I didn't know what I was doing. Like I didn't know.
right. So you're just the cute kid that
I
auditioned.
got no I got no idea. All I know is I showed up at O'Hare Airport in the brand new United Airlines terminal, and my dad's got the station wagon, the Chevy Caprice. And he's like, "Where do we park here?" It's like, and there's signs. And then I'm like, "Well, Dad, just let me off by all these big trailers. That's got to be it. And he just drops me off, and he goes looking for parking. I'm standing. There's no one around, and I'm like, I don't know what. My introduction to Hollywood was just standing around, looking around for somebody to tell me what to do. And
Right.
it's the same thing 35, 40 years later.
It totally is that, you
But
know?
where's everybody? And then I'll never forget my dad like barely found a parking spot. I think he still he ended up paying for, I gotta ask, like he ended up not parking where you're supposed to, so that he paid a bunch of money because it's the airport. And then somehow comes and finds me like hours later because he can't, he's trying to get to the set. And that's literally what I remember was being at the airport in like a food court. Like, remember the Sbarro pizza spots, where they had
Oh,
the
yeah,
pizza,
yeah.
it's like the really bad mall pizza.
Right, yeah.
I remember going to school because you show up and they're like, you got to go to school. We got to get your hours in. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm in an airport at a Sparrow, and like And I'm trying to, okay, I guess I didn't bring any school. I guess I'm doing school today. And then like there's all these kids and they've all been there.
Right.
Like, I don't know any, I'm the new kid. And it felt like being the new kid at school, right?
Yeah.
Uh, um, and then we shot a scene and that was totally cut out of the movie. And
That's what I heard. I heard you had a scene that was
it was
actually
a
a
whole
lot of,
sub there was like a whole subplot in of a couple of scenes in Paris, which they just shot in a condominium or something in downtown Chicago or whatever.
yeah.
And I don't even know if I don't think I had a line, but I'm just kind of always there. And I was a cousin. And God, there were so many kids. But the only reason I was in that movie is because we were all at the very end, and I was up for the Kevin role with like 4 or 5 or 6 other kids, and we were all reading for the lead role, right? And the director, Chris Columbus, came out and not to make anybody feel nervous, told all of us that no matter what, we'd all be in the movie.
Oh my
And
God. That's so
yep.
cool.
So he was like a class act. Like that's why he got that first Harry Potter movie and all that, right? He was so good with kids.
Yeah.
He he literally was like, "Don't worry, everybody. Everybody here today, you've made it this far, is going to be in the movie. I give you my word."
Yeah.
So
Man,
and
that's awesome.
and I think we were all just trying to bring the price down on Kevin or on Macaulay Culkin.
Right, right, yeah.
My introduction to Hollywood was I never would have ever gotten that role, Kevin, but he was just in a big John Hughes movie. He was probably asking for too much money.
Or his parents. You don't know what he was
Right,
asking.
right. But and the last thing I'll share about that story since you asked, was the callback was, and I was a Chicago kid, right? So I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. John Hughes movies, right?
Yeah.
60 Breakfast Club, all that stuff. We were actually doing it at, I think it's New Trier East or New Trier West. So this high school in Wilmette, they had two high schools. They only needed one. So John Hughes was like, I'll take that second one and I'll make movies in it. And that's
Yeah.
how all those movies kind of started, was because they had a high school and he's like, I'll just write stuff.
And that, yeah. Like Ferris Bueller and Pretty in Pink and stuff like yeah.
Exactly. So we actually had the callback in the library where they shot Breakfast Club.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy Lord.
So my introduction to all of it was like sitting here waiting. And I'm like, I'm in, this is where they did Breakfast Club. Even though I was like 10 years old, of course I saw it because you're from Chicago. You see all that stuff. So,
Yeah. I auditioned for this movie called Dennis the Menace.
oh
And
yeah, I know that
yeah,
one.
and I didn't even get close. You know what I mean? Like this is what a terrible actor I am, Matt. But like, I had blonde hair, blue eyes. You know what I mean? Which is what they wanted. But so I go to the audition thing, and I think I auditioned against the kid who actually got it or whatever. But I remember like I kept messing up on the lines and stuff, and I'm a kid. I don't know what I'm doing. So I thought like, looking back at it now, I think I did really good. But in the moment, I thought, what did that kid, like, what did that kid do that I didn't do? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of
Oh,
like one of those.
this is stuff no child should ever be thinking about.
I know, you know what I mean? So that's where, like, acting as a kid, I feel like I'm kind of glad maybe I didn't get it.
Yeah, you turned out all right, man.
Okay, so now let's jump to the Mighty Ducks, which is, the claim to fame. And you did three movies. And I wanted to ask you, did you have any like choice about what number your character could pick, or was that in the script?
Actually, a really great question, dude. I no, they let our coach, Jack White, who trained us all how to play hockey, handle a lot of that. He was responsible for, in a lot of ways, I think more than anything, really making the movie.
Yeah,
Uh, Even when we hated him, because he was a hockey coach who wouldn't mind us hating him during hockey camp,
right.
and some of the kids like really hated him. I'll leave that nameless. Some of them are world famous, and that like they just couldn't stand Jack because
Right,
Jack didn't care that we were child actors. He
right.
treated us like we were regular kids, and the bigger ego or whatever you had, the more he was like, "No, you got to skate that line," you know. And even though we couldn't play, uh, but I have fond memories of Jack, and uh, because of he let us pick our number.
Yeah, and you
So
chose four.
I chose four. I chose.
What, so like, what was it? What was that? Was that your
I
favorite
always liked
number?
the number. I always liked the number four.
Oh,
And,
nice.
I don't know if there's any more reason than that. I like four. Um, I'll have to think about that, but I think it's just I liked the number.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember some, well, everybody wanted 99, which of course had to go to Banks. But then Goldberg, Sean was like, well, I'll do 33. It's like I'm derivative of 99, which I still remember to this day.
That's something Sean would say.
And uh and then the other thing that Jack did that was really great was during Ducks 2, he somehow convinced all the filmmakers to let us scrimmage. And I've told this story a few times, but I'll tell it again. When we were shooting the big like last game against Eastland, right?
Right.
Iceland, and they filled up Honda Center, which was called the Pond then before the
Right
Mighty
in
Ducks.
Anaheim too.
We were the first people to play on that thing, and they filled it up with like packed to the gills with people, and the uh, the he they had cameras all over to catch audience reactions, which was in the movie, and it was a big day, couple days, and Jack had somehow convinced the entire filmmaking department to like let us scrimmage
Wow.
for real because he thought A, that we will never forget it, and B, they'll get really great honest reaction shots. And so he would do things like that. And then
Uh,
he quietly told the other team to take dives and not play so hard. So we scored so many goals. Like I scored a goal, which I'll never forget, but I'm sure it was
how was
assisted.
that feeling?
It's the best feeling I've ever had in my life, bar none. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I would think scoring a hockey goal is actually pretty hard, even though a lot of people
Oh, it's
do
the
do
hardest
it.
thing
Yeah.
especially now today with the way the pads are, and the Stanley Cup is starting, so it's I'm actually going to watch the Kings tonight. But yeah, it's the hardest thing to do.
Uh,
Say hitting a major league fastball or a curveball or whatever is harder, but I don't know how you measure that.
yeah. I mean, I don't, I gotta be honest with you. I don't watch a lot of hockey. In fact, the last hockey game I watched, somebody actually got murdered on the thing. Like
But
he
don't
kicked.
watch another one, man. You got
Yeah.
bad
So
luck, bro.
I'm never, but like what happened was the guy kicked it open his skate and it just sliced his neck. And I was like, holy Lord. So
I
I was,
we all I heard
yeah,
it was in England, wasn't it?
yeah, something like that. I mean, it was just on the TV because NBA wasn't playing or whatever. And I was just killing time. And then right when I got that,
Don't
I
watch
was
any
like,
hockey.
I was like, that's a sign. I should not watch. But,
We're gonna keep it light on this podcast. We're gonna keep it light.
But I did want to ask you what would because I'm sure you get a lot of questions about what was it like working with Emilio Estevez, but I wanted to ask you what was it like working with Michael Tucker because that guy I think is like one of the best character actors of all
Oh
time.
God, yeah. Oh yeah, the LA Law, right?
Yeah,
Oh, he was a gentleman, man, and like really fun, really funny. Grateful to be there. Like he taught, like I was blessed at a young age to have good models, good modeling in this industry, right?
yeah,
You know, people think Hollywood is all these. We're in such a creative crisis right now, and the industry is in an identity crisis, a fiscal crisis, all these things, and we've gotten away from what I think makes movies great, and I really hope it comes back. Like I know some movies have been doing well this, and people are going back to the movies.
right.
It's just tattooed my soul. Like I love movies. I love everything about it. I've devoted my life to it. Um, but I was blessed at a young age to have great mentors, to have people who modeled how to act on set, how to you know, just how to treat people. And again, going back to Jack White, our coach, all we were it instilled in me the thing that this whole industry I think is based on, which is like you pass on, like if you're a sound person, somebody taught you how to do it, so you tell somebody else.
Exactly.
And everybody thinks this industry, there is a myth of like that it's true that like it's hard to work and hard to break through, and that is absolutely true. But then there's this other thing of like it's like a mafia. Once you're there, you people pass on stuff, the right
They
people.
they kind of know you too. Like
They
and
share how to like, hey, like a cinematographer will just one day say like, hey, you don't have to do so much. I can see you. You're right here. And you're like, oh, oh yeah. Like people like it's a collaborative thing. And that guy was just like he was so nice. He just taught you how to like be on set.
yeah. Sometimes it's probably better like to work with non-movie stars like that, like people who are just known because it kind of teaches you what you could expect. Like one of my good friends is Jake Weber, and he was the bad guy in Meet Joe Black. So he had potential to be like a huge movie star, but he told me he's like, I just want to be Jake Weber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of people who want to be in this industry, like they just want to be
Do
famous.
you want to give up? Yeah, do you want to be famous or do you want to like be good at your thing?
Exactly.
How do you do it?
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask you, when in each of the films, did you have new glasses, or were those props, or were those your glasses, or like how do you do
I think
that?
they changed the glass. Well, they had different glasses for all the films. No, this is so Hollywood because even though I started wearing glasses at a young age, at first it was just for reading, but now I wear them all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, they were fake glasses.
Oh, really? Kind of
Can't
like
remember
these blue
my own
screen
glasses.
ones.
I had totally clear prop glasses, even though I needed real glasses. So that's Hollywood right there.
Oh my God. And you mentioned Sean Weiss. I know Sean a little because he does stand up, and
Yep.
he's actually very, very funny. Have you ever seen him do stand up?
I have for many, many years. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. And I remember like I don't like cheap questions, so I remember when I interviewed him, everyone was like, "Oh, you should ask him about his problems he was having and stuff." And I think like that's kind of like the point of not who Sean Weiss is, you know what I mean? So I avoid those questions. And I
Ah,
just want to know like as a child actor, because that stuff does happen, like what is your advice to child actors who are suffering from whatever they're going through and how to get back on track like that?
uh, it's a good question. I when you're young and you're rewarded for being really fortunate
Yeah.
and you get a distorted sense of reality of what's like I think Garrett Hansen is one of my favorite Garrett from the Ducks and he's one of my oldest and best friends and he we see each other often like whenever we do like the signings and stuff and we'll get together and we'll have a chat.
Like the
Um,
Comic Cons and stuff.
And Garrett, I think Garrett one time he's like, I think he told it perfectly where he's like, it's just a weird experience because you're like, all of a sudden you're like, man, I just feel like a Diet Coke. And then we'll get you a Diet Coke. And then it's like, boom. And it's like right there. It's like you're telepathically thinking, I want cinnamon. And there's your cinnamon raisin toast, like with butter. And it's like, and that's damaging to young people.
Yeah.
Um, and I think even if you're well intended and you have great parents and you weren't thrust into this industry, my mom and dad they didn't know what Hollywood was. They didn't, we're from the south suburbs of Chicago. My mom's a teacher. My dad works at a warehouse. He was a purchasing agent before he lost his job, and then became a warehouse worker. Like I'm not a Hollywood kid, you
Right.
know. No one forced me into this stuff, and even so, I had troubles. Even so, I like you. It's just such an age where you're growing and you're so many impressions. If you get this sense that this is what life and reality is, and then it's just one day gone,
Yeah,
is extremely destabilizing for even the most robust people.
for sure. Yeah.
And I we there's like is it like there's a reason why so many of us rob shit, do awful things, or like I'll rob a Blockbuster, which you can't really do anymore.
Yeah.
It's because like it's a real thing, you know? And I think I it's just strange. So I think if you're struggling, uh most of the people that have the trouble, it happens when the phones stop ringing, you
Right.
know, and you're like, and you kind of feel like you don't have any life skills.
Yeah.
Um and it's similar to athletes,
Oh,
you
for
know.
sure. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
eerily similar. And then meanwhile, a lot of us, like I react differently to stress to like than most people do because I came of age in an environment that was, you know, where you're expected to perform at a high level, like a prodigy level, right?
Right.
Tending to be an adult when you're not.
Yeah.
So I think all of these things contribute to having trouble. And now that being said, so I think there's a lot of help out there. You know, there's the Actors Fund, the union has programs that assist. There's so much help out there for people, you know, and I I know from my own personal experience that I would have had the same troubles that I had to endure. I just don't make public. That had I just gone to the National Guard and went into the military like one of my brothers, or worked at the steel mills, or went, you know, et cetera, like I would have had the same issues. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm genetically or whatever designed to be a certain way. So I
Well,
can't let my ego tell me, oh, if I hadn't have gone to Hollywood and I wouldn't have, you know, lost 10 years. But like I think
it's not even a Hollywood thing though, because like for example, Matt, I'll be honest with you, I overeat and I also like do a lot of dirty, sex, you know what I mean? And like those are escape things where like it's not healthy, but like I've never done drugs or whatever, but like if I get like for example, if I got that Dennis the Menace part, what if I did engage in that? Would I have the problems I have now? You know what I mean? So I feel like
like
it's
I
just
think
one of
we are who
those,
we are. I think
yeah,
you know, it's like it's a mix. And that doesn't like I think the like it's such a great question and I don't often get asked it. So like I think that people and kids that struggle with this the adjusting, like that's like a behavioral mental health thing as well as like a just
yeah,
like then you have these other things like you're talking about, but like the stats are there. Like there's a lot of but I think if I manage to like I look at all of my experiences that like it makes me uniquely qualified to be who I am today, which I like who I am today. And like had I not had um you know all of those experiences, I wouldn't be, you know. And I think that a lot of us, if you survive the thing, then um man, I think you're a strong, you're you know, you're a robust, you know, fully developed person like anything else. But I
right.
think it'd be really challenging when you deal with that amount of rejection, that amount of close proximity. Your head tells you like, oh man, I was there when they were casting Freaks and Geeks. Why didn't I get picked? I was standing next to this guy and this guy. You know, we were
Right.
all right there. And like, how did like why wasn't it me? You know, I
Yeah.
was there.
And
And
and see that question goes a lot back to the roots of screenwriting, I feel, because the roots of writing is every character has hopes and fears that you want to, conquer and stuff. And the root is nobody has nobody has a secret. Everyone has a secret. And I think like that's why it's such a very interesting thing, this whole business, because it reflects life so much, even
oh
though it's
yeah,
hidden
yeah,
under business.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I, you know, I think if you're gonna do anything in it, like you gotta have a good life, man. I remember like those, like that's another thing. It was modeled by all these great character actors, like you mentioned a couple of them, and like they teach you, man. If you're paying attention, you're like, oh, they teach you like get a good life, man. Get
Yeah.
because don't make this your life because this is not real and it will eat you up, right?
Yeah, this is only 3 months of a
It's
delusion.
get
Yeah,
a good life.
Wow.
because this other stuff, whew, you know, it is.
Matt,
It's a lot like being athletes, man. They're very
no,
similar.
it is. Matt, I had three more questions, but I want to respect your time. Is it cool if I ask
Good. Yeah,
these?
any more questions? Good.
Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you about because on IMDb it says you were in Argo and
Yeah.
it says uncredited, and I wanted to ask you, is that like the biggest like messed up insult for Hollywood to put you under uncredited on
No,
something?
it's actually accurate. That used to be Butler because that's what it was. So it was a reshoot day. And this is again Hollywood, man. There's so much is random. There's so many things that are out of your control.
Right.
Like I'm in an Academy Award winning film, right?
I
Like that
know,
I
it's great.
really love. But it was a reshoot day and it was they what they often do was they had two of us play the same role. And there was a woman and who was like a maid who ended up being in the movie. And then there was me as like a butler.
Yeah.
And so we shot the same sequence and and then it was with Alan Arkin, which I was super excited, the great late
You
Alan
just
Arkin
passed a couple.
passed.
Yeah.
And they shot the same sequence and there's Ben Affleck sitting there and there's George Clooney and it's like, oh my God, like this is incredible. And I mean, and then there's this Scoot who I did commercials with and he's just starting to hit it big. And I'm like, Scoot, look at you, you're on a movie set, man. It's like he's like a star now. And I'm like, look at Scoot, man. And but it just got cut out because they went with the other actor. That's
Yeah.
why. But it doesn't matter. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, there was no reason. It wasn't because I did anything wrong. It was just they wanted a Latina woman and not this guy. That's what they
Yeah.
wanted.
But at least in your heart, you were still in it and it's still on your
I saw that
resume.
movie tonight because I love that movie. I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
it's a great movie. Yeah. And but yeah, I mean, I just always thought when people like because I've gotten a couple uncredited roles, and I think it's like the biggest insult to me. It's like, oh, was I terrible, or do you,
No,
you know? But sometimes it's also a money budget thing.
or you're in a scene that slowed the movie down,
Yeah, that's true. So
and they cut it because even though the scene was really great, they were like, the movie stops and we lost our audience. So there's just so many things that were out of our control.
yeah. And then I wanted to ask you about First Stone, which is a short film you did, which you
Yeah.
wrote and directed. And I've never seen it, but short films I think are very important for this industry because it shows people what they can do, and they could also help them. Like
Um,
look at
gotta make
Saw.
it,
That
you gotta
started
do
as a
something.
yeah.
I've directed like four short films and I just finished my first feature, which we're in the editing process of. And if you nowadays with the equipment, like that was right before the iPhone movie craze. So like you can do anything. Like I shot a literally feature film on this.
Oh, nice.
Um, and that's with like my friends and we spent like all together out the door less than $20,000. Raised some money. I put in a little bit of my own. I asked a couple of people to kick in big and we paid everybody, every day everybody got a little bit of money um but like you can make it the idea of making a feature for that amount of money like 5, 10 years ago would have been impossible.
Yeah, but now you could do it. And also like a lot of people they shoot really fast now. So like instead of like back in the day it was probably I don't know a week per scene. Now you could do like
Oh,
two or
we
three.
had 9 days altogether, and it will probably end up being around 96 minutes. We shot, and we just did it like I would get together like one day a month with my people whenever they were available because I knew I wanted to work with really, really great actors.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, they're not gonna get paid what they normally get paid. So I was like, okay, well, let me be respectful of their time. So I'll show up ready. I'll never go long. I'll always be short days. I'll feed them right and I'll make sure it's funny and it's fun. And then we're gonna have a blast because that's what I believe the Mel Brooks rules. Like if we're not
Yeah.
having, and if you do that, you can make a movie, man. Because I mean, that's the thing. I'm an actor, right? I'll
Yeah.
show up for people if I know they're going to respect my time, they're going to feed me right, and it's fun.
Yeah. I think like that's another thing, like, I might actually start making this a mandatory thing is like you said, have people film 3-minute movies on their iPhone. You know what I mean?
You can
Something.
do so much these days, man.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's a
literally
good idea.
my partner Mikey on who is cinematographer, he's everything. He's like my creative partner on this thing. And he's editing the damn thing on his iPhone. Like he's like we were working, he's like, "Oh, I like to feel it." And I'm like, "Bro." And then I'm watching it, I'm like, "Oh my God, this is really great," you know?
Yeah.
Like the tools are there for us we don't need anything. Make stuff. That's what I got for you out there. If you're listening, make stuff.
I appreciate that. I'm actually going to take that. And then my last question for you, Matt, is you're on Cameo, which is I'm on
Yeah.
Cameo, and for the folks at home, they're like birthday shout outs and stuff. I wanted to ask you, what's the oddest cameo you've ever gotten?
The oddest cameo I don't get the weird ones, so I must
Oh,
not
you
make,
don't.
I don't get any like, hey, will you put a pineapple upside down cake on your, I'm like, no, you gotta give me a couple more bucks, bro. Uh, yeah, for the right price. It's like that episode of Black Mirror, right? You're like, ooh, don't do it. Uh, the weirdest thing, well, there was one time somebody was trying to get me to do like a free commercial for their company,
Yeah.
like for $49. And also, a lot of people don't know this. Like, if you actually don't go through, if you use the app, Apple, I can't believe, I'm sorry, Apple, takes like 40%. So, like, when it comes to, like, I do the thing and
You
you
got
get
to do
like,
it on the website. Yeah.
it's like $26, right? You know this, right?
Yeah.
And like, bro, I'm not going to do a commercial for your used car sales.
For 16 bucks.
$40. And like, and he's trying to convince me that it was private. I'm like, bro, this is not private. This is a script. Don't tell me that. I'm not. And then I'm like, is it that bad? Is the state of my career that bad? So the honest thing was that, which I unfortunately never did.
Oh man. I think Cameo is great
I
because
think
I
Cam was
think
cool.
I think it's great because you don't know how many people you're actually cheering up with just a 30-second thing. But the oddest one I ever got was to break up a couple, and I thought that was very,
You
very odd.
literally, you literally broke up a couple.
I don't know if they actually broke up, but this girl booked me to break up with
Or
her
it could have been
boyfriend.
part of like the thing they used to like get them all titillated too. You never know.
You never know.
You
So,
don't know what it's being used for. Oh, now that you said that, I forget. There was a team, a Filipino hockey team.
uh,
I didn't even, I mean, I knew like a lot of that hockey was over there. It was big, but I had no, like, there was a team called the Mighty Ducks, and they were awful. And I had to do they were trying to like actually win one game.
right.
And I gave a pep talk, and I was trying to find out, like, I wanted to watch and see this team in the Philippines that was like called the
Uh,
Ducks.
right.
And I evidently, but I never got it. I really wanted to find out how if they won, but it's one of the mysteries of the universe.
Uh, well, Matt, where can the folks at home follow and support you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Archie Doman, which I'm sure you can put on the tags when you do the thing.
For sure.
ARCHIEDOHMAN. I have a website. It's called a song of ourselves.com. That's a song of ourselves.com. So you can find out about my teaching, consulting. And pretty soon we'll have the failed state movie out, and pretty soon we'll have the my fake radio news hour that we made a long form radio news hour improv based.
Oh,
So that'll
that's
be,
so awesome.
yeah.
Oh, well,
I'll
Matt,
make sure
thank
I let you know when it's released.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll plug it. Matt, thank you so much for talking to me.
You're easy to talk with, brother.
I know you're a little nervous because of stand-up comics being a journalist or whatever, but
No, I can handle it. No, you did it. You did it right. No, I was just saying I can't stand when people like, don't like they just go, well, what are you doing now? Or tell me about it. I'm like, come on, like I do
it's
a lot of these. Like, ask good questions, bro.
it's To me, it's not even about the questions. It's more because the best part about interviewing is just listening. And I feel
Uh,
like, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, is because I really try not to ask the same questions. I know sometimes it's
yeah.
kind of hard not to, but you just gotta listen and then kind of just pivot to what you're listening to. You know what I mean?
Like pineapple upside down cake on your chest,
I
right?
know that's gonna be episode 2. We're gonna talk about this. Uh, Matt, I really appreciate you, buddy, and thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you making time, and thanks for making it easy.
All right. All right,
Yep.
Rifters, subscribe, rate, review, and we'll see you guys next week on Reza Rifts.